Oh my god. Hello, hello,
Ow, ow,
hello.
ow, ow, ow.
Hi.
This feels very differently different.
This is strange.
This is strange. But welcome to the cup where we put the tea in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst.
Yay, Louis!
Yay! Hi, I'm Lewis, and pretty much I would let Gemma know that she is a fat cunt, and the shoes that she gave me were not something that I would particularly buy for myself. They were old maiden type shoes, and she said those shoes were meant to be worn on a beautiful woman. So if that is the case, she should have put them back on the rack, and she should never ever even purchase them because she was unqualified to own those shoes if that's the case. And I think that Gemma is just a disgrace. She's a disgrace to women who are actually beautiful and classy, and she just doesn't have the vernacular she thinks she possesses. Somebody lied to her several times and told her that she was fly, hot, and sexy and beautiful, and she's nothing like that. She's nothing of the sort. And I'm a candy laddie from Manny.
How did I do lip syncing to Lewis?
Oh, you did amazing, Logan.
Thank you, I know. I was like, I also had it up. I didn't know if you were going to read the whole thing verbatim, but I was like, if you didn't, I was going to. But then you started doing it, and I was like, well, I guess I'm lip syncing this.
I plan on having a different BBUK quote every night we do this. So that's the first of many.
Good. And I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Gay. And all I have to say is, who is she? Who is she? Where did you find her? I'm so sad she's not here anymore.
She would have loved those back.
She's not one of those.
Yes. But I am just drinking some beautiful lemon water. And if I was drinking anything else, it would be out of my cup mug. Cup mug. And you can get yours at lanagcreations.etsy.com. Link in the description below. And we do ship both domestically and internationally, so there are no excuses. We're looking at you, Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
And Isle of Man.
And Isle of Man.
And Isle of Wight.
White?
White?
Yes, like WIGHT. White.
I know. Yes. I know.
Oh.
I'm making a joke, my dear.
I didn't know. Hi, I'm Aneesa, also known as Sam to Monteverde. And I just can't hold it in anymore. I have to tell everyone. David's dead. David's dead.
Cut to Darren in the garden. What the fuck is that?
See, Lana's here to tell you that we're looking at you, Lewis.
We're looking at me. Well, Lana, I am gonna hop right on to. Oh my god, that's not a ticker.
Oh, that is
not a ticker.
Hold on. I got it. Much better.
Now a ticker. There we go. You know what, Lana? I'm gonna click on that link after the episode is done. I'm gonna procrastinate about buying a mug. Yeah. And then fall asleep. But I will eventually buy myself a cup mug.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna see you at least twice a week for the next couple of weeks. I'll just annoy you until you get one.
For the time being.
Speaking of which, in my the cup mug, I have lovely orange juice.
I do not have a cup mug as of yet, but I am using my BBUK mug that I got.
That's acceptable.
That is.
I will allow it.
It's cute. It's got
will allow it.
An eye on it, and it's like glass, but it's like frosted glass, so it's like not quite glass.
We'll allow it.
Cute. Hi everyone, welcome to Big Brother UK. Finally, we get to cover Big Brother UK on the curb.
I'm so happy. Oh yes.
Far too long. Let's just dive in because it feels like it just just sprung on us like out of nowhere. Surprise!
I was like, suddenly I'm watching BBUK again. Oh God, okay. Like
suddenly I'm watching my first ever season of BBUK.
Oh, this is your first?
So I've seen like clips and whatnot, and like Lewis has shown me like episodes here and there, but I've never like fully dove into a season until this season.
Oh, okay.
And to be fair, the last season wasn't until like it's been a whole lockdown since we had like a season of Big Brother.
It's
UK.
been like 5 years, correct?
5 years. 5 years.
Yeah.
Crazy how time flies because it doesn't feel that long ago. In actuality,
no,
I was still in high school when the last season of BBUK aired.
Wow, not that.
I had a boyfriend the last time BBUK aired, and guess what? Now he's engaged to someone else.
Well,
let's who looks very similar to me. Anyway,
let's talk. First thing I want to talk about before we get into the housemates and the going on and whatnot, I want to talk about the house itself because brand new location. This is completely new. We're not using the old house is now completely destroyed. So we've got a whole new house. And here it is in all of its glory. Ooh,
yay. Do we like this layout, Lewis, or do we like this layout?
I like this.
One for this.
Yeah, we can. I like this because it's.
We'll do this for the time being, and then we'll get the
I like this one better because we have the ticker below.
That's true.
Yes. But before we talk about the house, you should subscribe.
Oh yes,
you definitely should.
You definitely should.
Lana said so.
Completely.
So you should.
If Lana says it, you do it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
This house is very. I mean, first of all, it's fucking massive.
That's what Jenkins said the moment he walked in. He was just like, "This house is massive." I was like, "Yeah, it is."
Yes, it is. Clearly, they have budget this season. Budget is there, and also for the first, it feels like the first time where they've had accessibility in the forefront of their mind when building a house.
I love it.
There's an accessible lift that takes them to the mezzanine. I had no idea why until the launch.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I love that we have an elevator, and I love that everything seems to be like very ground level in this house. I'm like, that seems lovely. I guess it's just an ITV change. Oh no, Carrie's here. That's why, and I love it. And I would say, oh no, I don't remember his name. Dylan. I would say also potentially Dylan to an extent. But.
Yes. I'm gutted because they never shown like, so they showed the people going through the doors, but they didn't show like that. They just cut to them into the house. They didn't show where they go from the doors. So when you're entering through the main doors, the lift will take you down to the level of the house. So there's a lift behind the main doors. Yeah.
Love that.
Like the main doors, as in like going into the house, or like behind
main doors going into the house. Like when you've done your interview, you go through the doors, and then there's a lift that takes you to the level of the house. Which made for very fun shots. When I was at the launch, just there was like a camera, and you just saw every house guest just go and like fall all the way down to the floor, and that shot of them just like. Anyway, I love the mezzanine. Mezzanine is very cute. There's a lot of hallways, like lots of corridors. So many corridors. I don't even know what the house plan is because it's so complicated.
The main area, there's the mezzanine, the garden, and then I think when you go, if you're walking in, I think to the left is the bathroom, and then the northwest corner when you're walking in, I believe, is the bedroom.
Yeah.
I think. I honestly don't know.
But no, it's very cute. See the corridor that like the corridor in the middle is very nightclub. But no, the whole house and the roof. I don't know why I'm obsessing over the roof, but the roof is so much better than the Elstree Studios days. Like they actually put so much time and consideration into this, and yeah, I love it. Anything
you
to
can
add?
tell that You can tell that this was built by people that had Big Brother in mind and wanted this to be successful. And I mean, looking at the statistics that we have already so far in the ratings, like it is doing that. So I'm really happy to see it.
Completely. Yeah.
So right before we like hopped on stream, when I saw this kind of collage put together, like I said to them, it full on looks like a furniture store. Like
yes. Totally. You could definitely put this in a furniture store and anyone would buy it, even if it meant that their wallet will literally be empty by the end of the day.
Yeah. Like, it's like the most expensive furniture store you can think of.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I would walk into this furniture store, buy everything, and fully accept the fact that I would be homeless by the end of the day anyway, because I just spent all my money on those furnitures like that I just bought. Right. Let's get into the house mates themselves. We'll do this in order that they entered the house. So, first up, we had Jenkin. Jenkin, he is 25 from Bridgend in Wales, barman. What did we think of Jenkin?
I really enjoyed him. Like, upon first impression, I knew the energy he was gonna give.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been going through it.
Oh, completely.
He's had one of the rockier starts I've seen nothing else is a recent season of BBUK, but you know what I mean. Like, of memory, he's had one of the more rough transitions into the house, it seems like.
Completely. Yeah, it felt like he had all of the energy of it felt like he had the most, almost one of the most biggest energies of the entire house. And then all of a sudden, all of that energy got zapped away from him within like the first hour or two that he moved in. Yeah, very rough start. But I feel like that's great in terms of a lot of people would warm to him because of that. I would hope so. Let me bring out my notes.
I don't think they are, unfortunately. I think that's kind of the difficulty of where we're at. Is just like, I don't think people are warming to him in the way that we are all hoping that they are.
No.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find like different. I had different facts on everyone. One thing I do remember Jenkins saying was if there was a house guest, if there was like anyone that he would live with in the Big Brother house, he said Kim Woodburn.
That's a choice.
That is a choice.
All right.
I think he mentioned something about her being a clean freak. And
well, yes, obviously.
So he would just sit back, which kind of is a bit sexist on the face of it, but a little. No, I think now that he's slowly getting his clothes back and hopefully we can get to see the real Jenkin as opposed to knocked back, not being able to be his true self, Jenkin.
I agree.
Okay. Next up we had Farida. 50 from Wolverhampton. She's a makeup artist. Farida was very happy-go-lucky when she went into the house. She was like talking all this stuff about loving the creativity. She literally on the way in, she was like, "Oh my god, I love the creativity. I love and this is going to be such a fun social experiment." She keeps on bringing up social experiment.
Oh yeah, drink every time she says social experiment because you'll probably have to go to the hospital for alcohol poisoning. Like, honestly.
What do we think of Farida?
Beautiful gowns. No, okay. In all seriousness, okay. So I enjoyed her like upon first impression. Although we'll talk later about like what goes on later in the season. But just in terms of walking in the house, like I really enjoyed her. I thought she left a decent first impression on me.
I think she's in over her head a little bit.
Oh,
I do. I don't know. I like her. I think she's lovely. I think as we're learning more about her and the way that she interacts with people, there are just those house guests that you're like, I'm so excited to be in Big Brother, but the moment that you actually get in there and you're actually dealing with people, you don't always mesh with people as quickly as other people do.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even necessarily say in this case it's an age thing, because this cast is actually skewed a little older than a lot of Big Brother casts. So right. I think it's just her personality. But I love that she is talking very, very openly about her faith. I love that she is continuing all of her prayer 5 times a day in the house. I'm really happy to see that. And I like people like Farida being cast on this show. I worry for her, and I would not be surprised if she gets evicted tomorrow.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that I agree, unfortunately. But no, I love that she's there. She's quoted as saying, "I'm very proud of who I am, and I feel like Asian women and Asian culture is underrepresented on TV. A lot of people think that wearing a headscarf might stop you from having opportunities, whereas for me, I embrace it with confidence, and it's actually given me lots of opportunities." So yeah, I love that she's here for the representation, but unfortunately I have to agree on the possible nomination front. We'll have to wait and see, because I feel like we're going to get the results of the nominations very soon, because we're going to get it exclusively via Leighton Live, which I do have muted on the side of the screen waiting to see who is nominated. Let's talk about Tom. Tom. So Tom is 21. I've written down the age, where they're from, and their occupation really, really faintly at the bottom there. 21, from Livingston in Somerset. And Tom is a butcher. Tom is a butcher, yes. What do we think of Tom? Do we think anything of Tom?
So far, I mean, he hasn't really done much groundbreaking, and like there isn't too many like moments for me that are like as memorable. I do acknowledge that he's there. I just and I mentioned this to Lewis like before we hopped on StreamYard, but I feel like he's just there.
Right. Tom, he decided to apply for Big Brother because he was looking to do something a bit different from day-to-day life, which honestly sounds very standard. There's not much I can get from that. He says he would like to think he is quite funny, but his family would describe him as quite loud and chatty. But I haven't seen this loud, chatty side as yet.
Maybe around like the guys, I feel like
maybe,
because I mean I see him like sharing the bed with Paul, so I'm like, yeah, maybe.
We're not seeing much of Tom yet, which I mean,
not much.
There was one particular thing which we will talk about that he was involved in, but beyond that, Logan, Tom.
Hello. He's there.
He is indeed there.
He exists.
He is existing.
He is indeed a house guest on this season of Big Brother UK.
Indeed.
And he likes getting a perm.
He does like getting a perm.
And that's all I know about Tom.
He shares a bed with Paul.
Great.
Sure. Okay.
I think we can move along.
We can move along. Let's talk about Hallie.
icon, legend, beautiful, gorgeous, stunning, fabulous, amazing, incredible. There are not enough words for me to describe this woman. She's my winner.
Sam?
Copy paste.
And another thing, no kidding.
No,
I don't know if she's my winner, but she's up there. I have a couple in mind, and she's in that couple.
She's most definitely one of my favorites so far. I have a different winner as of right now, but we'll get there. And I would like to think that my winner is.
I feel like I know who your winner is, and I'm gonna hate it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Hallie says,
I bark at men when they catcall me.
she's most likely to be nominated for being lazy and having an opinion. I'm quite opinionated. I like speaking my mind, and not many people like that. I'm quite real. I think we've seen that.
I think we have.
We've seen shades of opinionated Hallie.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. Yeah, it says here, I bark at men when they catcall me because you're acting like a dog, so you'll get treated like one.
Good.
I love that. I love that statement.
Love that.
I don't think she's ever going to be a person that directly starts drama with someone. But if she gets involved in drama, it's going to be because she's a shit stirrer. And we've kind of already seen a little bit of that with her talking to a lot of different groups of people about the Farida situation, which we'll talk about probably.
Yeah.
But
it's not just her.
It's not just her, but she's saying one thing about it to someone and then another thing to Farida's face and then another thing to other groups of people.
Right.
So I'm like, and I like her a lot, and she's obviously still my winner pick. But I think if she does get nominated, it's gonna be because of all of that. And I hope that if she does get nominated, she will be saved. Because a lot of motherfuckers have some ignorant fucking opinions about her. And I've been fighting. I've been in the trenches on Twitter, and when I'm in the trenches on Twitter, you know it's bad.
We'll talk a lot more on the coming out. I just hope. I mean, 18. This current political climate, which is fucking ridiculous, and coming out as transgender, I hope that ITV fucking takes good care of her, because when she's out, there's gonna be so much going on. I hope that ITV sticks their neck out for her. But I love her. I love Hallie so much. So much so that I had 2 slides on Hallie. But
good, as you should.
But let's
move
on.
Hey,
okay.
I find it super powerful about and this stands out to me very much. But the fact that it takes $30,000, right?
Right.
She wants to use $30,000 of her prize money if she wins, / when she wins, to finally get herself a vagina, and I love that so much for her.
Design a vagina.
Design a vagina.
Love that. Right. Next up, Trish, which I don't know why it's shrinked Trish's image on
How
here.
dare you?
That's
disrespectful to our queen, Trish.
I love Trish.
Love
so
Trish.
much.
I'm obsessed with Trish.
Her and Harry.
Henry.
I am just obsessed with them together.
But yeah, Trish, first of all, she was fucking lapping up that audience, that launch audience. She was.
As she should.
She was.
She is a feminist, and she's hoping to humanize refugees and immigrants while she is on Big Brother?
Work.
Completely work. She claims in her VT that she hates the Tories and is not afraid of a debate if it came to one.
No, because there's a moment I want to talk about later. But I love that so much for her.
Completely. No, I think it's interesting we bring Henry, which will come to Henry, but fucking complete opposites in terms of their
Political views,
their political stance, and they're still fucking developing such a strong friendship with each other. Granted, it's a bit of a group going on there, which I'm picking up on. I'm thinking Trish, Henry, Yinran, Jordan.
right?
That's how I see that group. I fucking yeah. Trish is incredible. She is 30. I don't want to misquote that. It says either 33 or 32. She's from Luton, and she's a full-time mum.
Work.
Love that. Go Trish. Honestly, I would love Trish to make it to the end. I mean, I want to personally see if Big Brother springs some sort of political debate between her and Henry. See
It has
what
to
goes
happen,
on.
right?
It's going to happen. Yeah. Love Trish.
Yeah, I knew like once she walked in that she was gonna bring some kind of light onto like her fellow housemates as well as to like us fellow viewers. She definitely reminds me of like some of my best friends like in real life.
Right. Completely. No, she's a very like she's a fun gal to be around, and genuinely I would like to go partying with Trish because
Absolutely.
I feel like Trish would bring the fucking party.
Yeah.
Yeah, love Trish. Okie dokie. Next up, man. This is my winner so far.
I see it.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say this is my winner pick too.
I see it.
The obsession I have with Yunrun is unreal. I love her so much.
At this point, we can bring up musical statues because that's the first thing that's happened now. Musical statues. Everyone's dancing around. Which honestly, I was at launch, and when they said they were doing musical statues, I was worried. I was really worried. I was like, "Where are we taking this, ITV? Is this gonna be a caricature of Big Brother?" Like, this felt very weird that
what was the reason?
What was the reason?
I think it's to play on the whole like party bit,
Is that the theme? Party?
I mean, apparently that's what it was when everyone walked in, right?
It was a coronation party, wasn't it, or something?
So like homecoming, housewarming party. That's what they described it as. But I thought that was far too cheesy. I was like, it's a bit too CBS for my liking.
No, but the fact that she won it too, and she had just got into the house.
But also, her just like first thing she walks in, she goes, "Hello, hello." Everyone's just frozen. She's so confused. So what she does is pin herself against the wall.
I lived. Oh my god, I loved it.
No, that entrance was so cute. She was so confused, bless her. You could tell that, and she had no idea what musical statues. They cut that out. They asked her, "Do you know what musical statues is?" And she said no. So they had to explain the rules to her, and she was one of my favorites going in. She spoke, and this got edited a lot. A lot of different things got edited from the final cut of the launch. Yimran spoke very candidly about her journey from China, to the UK, and she described Big Brother as the second part of her journey. So yeah,
I love her.
I love her so much. She's just so sweet and kind, and we'll speak about that kindness later on, because that kindness plays into a part of something that happened.
Yeah.
Um,
But it's really amazing to see like how, and I was talking to Lewis about this earlier, but I feel like she single-handedly is the person that's like in everyone's kind of circles.
Oh yeah, she's very connected.
She's very connected.
But she doesn't think that.
She doesn't.
I don't think she is. She
No.
doesn't. I don't think she thinks she's as connected as she is, which she is. And like, honestly, love her. I love that she's being so warmly received by most of the house.
I feel like if she ends up getting nominated, it's gonna be because she feels so bad having to do nominations that she'll accidentally tell someone that she nominated them and then get a penalty nomination because of it. Like that's the vibe I'm getting, because like I hope that Big Brother like fully explains like, hi, you can't, because we know she like clearly doesn't know the game.
Right. No,
she's not familiar with Big Brother at all.
She did not apply for Big Brother knowing what Big Brother was.
No, not at all.
But
I'm hoping that they'll explain, hey, you can't say this to anyone. And I hope she doesn't end up saying something about it and then accidentally getting nominated because of it. Because I don't see her. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that makes me think, because I know in US, you know how they have the rule book in the storage room, right? Do they have something similar like in the UK?
Yes, they have a welcome pack, which is like a binder full of different like pages and pages of rules.
Not to be confused with the Fire Marshal Handbook.
Not to be confused with the
We'll talk about that.
It's a completely different thing. But no, Yemen is such a lovely girl. That's the only what Logan said. That's my only concern. But I would like to think that everyone's read the welcome pack. Hopefully. Right. Next up, we have Jordan. Jordan from Scunthorpe, a lawyer who is from a working class family, but has developed his accent by watching Downton Abbey.
I should hate him. I shouldn't enjoy his personality. And yet I find him so intriguing.
I honestly, yeah.
I find him so fun. I don't know. I think it's specifically him and Harry together I'm really enjoying. And I'm also loving him and Chantel together. I think that's a really interesting... Oh, is it Chanel?
It's Henry and then it's Chanel.
Yeah,
Oh, well, whatever.
It's okay.
I watched all 4 episodes.
You did.
Okay?
You did.
Yeah,
I don't remember people's names.
Right.
Like, I don't remember names.
I forgot to mention during musical chairs, when Yimran won, she chose Jenkin, which was the start to the whole Jenkin thing, to make her breakfast in bed the next morning. But we didn't get to see it, so I don't know if it's happened. Production should have shown that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think we ever saw it.
No, but yeah, Jenkin made Yinwen breakfast in bed. But yes, Jordan.
I mean, Big Brother never said anything about it, at least from what we saw. So Jenkin probably did, and we just never saw it.
Or Yinrun is still waiting in bed for for her breakfast in bed.
But Jordan, yeah, I love Jordan. Jordan's got such a dry sense of humor, and I love that aspect of his personality. Like he would say something funny, but say it in such a dry tone that you can tell he's just being funny. Yeah. But he just the way he delivers his humor is so. I love that. I I love his personality. He's very very personable, but also he gives moody bitch energy, but fun moody bitch.
But in a presumably straight way.
Right, exactly.
Presumably.
Well, you say that. He said
he mentioned that he's gay.
He mentioned that he floats both ways.
Oh,
yeah,
did he?
That's what I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say nothing, but like there's gonna be a showmance this season, and I don't think it's gonna be a straight one.
Oh. Okay.
I have an idea.
Okay. No, I think I know exactly.
Oh, I think it's gonna be Harry and Jordan, 100%.
Henry and Jordan, yes.
Okay, I'm learning. Okay, I think it's gonna be Henry and Jordan for sure.
Okay.
Jordanry.
I do have the results of the nominations. Do we want them now? Should we save it until after we've done everyone, and then we can?
How many more people do we have?
I don't think we have many.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9. Okay, let's get to
We
it.
do have that many.
Let's get to it.
Okay, I'm gonna just sum up my thoughts of Jordan. There's layers to him, and I think through each episode, I'm starting to love him more. Okay, next person.
Zach. Zach from Manchester. He's from where I'm from. Model. He is hot. We got to see him a bit more last night's episode.
We did.
When he was the
like he was in the
middle management.
As well as the middle management.
Oh, exactly. I was gonna say when he had his shirt off in the big bed, I said, "Ooh, hello."
No, I was gonna say how him and Paul were in the male post room.
Yes,
with the pooping pigeons.
Right. But beyond that, I haven't seen much of him. He's hot. He's fine.
He's from Thailand.
Yeah, he's from Thailand. I'm trying to see if there's anything from his profile that I can pick up on. But beyond that, he's a model. I've seen him a lot because he does Boohoo shoes, and I use Boohoo a lot. So he's on my
So he's probably would he be like a brand ambassador kind of thing for that?
What? Yeah, he's a bit of a brand ambassador for Boohoo. He said he said he looked forward to doing the tasks, which shows because he fully got involved in that task yesterday.
Yeah.
He said, so when answering the question, what are you most likely to get nominated for? He says, people might judge me because I'm a model. People often have a misconception because people often have a misconception, but I'm a council estate boy. I'm not like a typical model. I'm a down-to-earth guy. People assume I'm arrogant, but when they get to know me, I've got a lot more to offer. Dream celebrity to live with. Nicole Scherzinger.
Not a bad choice.
And he also mentioned Seth Rogen and Mike Tyson, but right, let's move on. Chanel. Chanel.
She's gonna get on my last nerve. I can already tell.
Do you think?
I do.
Our second Welsh housemate from Llanelli. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's like 2 hours. And
I'm not even gonna attempt to.
No. She's a dental therapist. Yeah, Chanel is interesting, especially after the lineup game, which we'll come around to. Yeah, that was interesting. Took very she didn't take it well, that lineup game. She's probably going to get annoying at some point, personally.
I feel like the first chance she gets on to the nomination block, like, she's not going to stay.
Right.
Yeah, I think she's going to do fine. I don't think she's going to be nominated anytime soon specifically. But I feel like I don't feel like she has enough. She's going to have enough support to stay if she's up for eviction versus a lot of these people.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Dylan.
He's
Dylan.
hot.
Logan has got to go. Logan, do you want to know real quick? Do you want to know the noms?
Oh, I said text it to me, but that's fine.
Oh, okay. I just want to see your face. Two nomination. Two different people are on the block.
I feel like I can guess who it is.
Farida.
Yeah.
Kerry.
Yeah.
No.
Huh.
No. I literally wrote it in my notes. I like Carrie versus Frida, but I hope it doesn't cause them both to be nominated. No! Oh no! Well,
Was
we
not
all know who's going.
Not surprised that it's Carrie, but also
No.
was not expecting Carrie.
Right.
Well, yeah.
It's very
And with that,
nice to see you, Logan.
But I'm over this season. Bye.
Dylan. I mean,
he's a fun guy.
Very fun. But like, I don't think we've seen enough of him yet.
I agree. I feel like he tries his best. I feel like from all the people we haven't seen enough of, I feel like he's the one that's like we've seen the most of within that group of people.
Exactly, yeah. I'm glad he stuck up for Yimran during that conversation with Olivia, which we'll talk about.
We will. Yeah, I'm very glad that happened as well.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Nearly done. Noki.
Noki's the one person who I have absolutely nothing on. Except for the fact that she's confident.
Right. She's confident. There's a whole conversation about her being confident between her and Yinma. Miss Universe GB last year, 2022. Yes, she was Miss Universe last year. Yeah. Which I love her. I hope we get to see more of her in the next week or so.
I hope so too.
She seems very sweet, very fun. But she's not getting much of an edit right now.
She isn't. Which makes me intrigued. But although that dress she walked in with was stunning.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And really the only other like memorable thing that I can think of from Naki is probably her running her fingers through like Zach's hair while they're on the bed.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Okay, we're moving on to Matty. Matty from the Isle of Man. Doctor. This guy. Oh my god.
I love him.
So much energy about him. So much energy.
Very energetic.
Very energetic. Particularly at launch, I was like, oh my god, this guy crazy. But no, but good crazy. I loved him, and this was the second game. As soon as Matty came in, hide and seek was the second game that we played on launch night. Matty found Jenkin first. Once again, Jenkin. Jenkin had no hot water for that first 24 hours, which is crazy.
Yeah.
No, that means no shower because Jenkin was not going to have a cold shower. It means dishes, you can't do dishes because you could only have cold water, and you can't really do dishes in cold water, I guess.
Unless you were pressure washing, but anyways.
Sure. But yeah, Matty, I love Matty's energy.
I love his personality.
I loved that conversation he had with the boys in the garden.
Yeah.
It wasn't yesterday's episode, it was the night before.
It was the night before when like him and the 4 guys and the other 3 guys, won the bed challenge.
Yeah. Right.
And I felt like that was very, very much kind of the shining moment for him so far.
completely. Right, moving on. Paul from Liverpool. Um, Paul from Liverpool is a security officer. Paul is Paul's an interesting one. I mean, again, part of that conversation with the boys. I think he's been very comforting with Hallie. There's been conversation about him online. That I mean, can't say it's true, can't say it's false, can't dispute anything. There's no real evidence of anything about him being transphobic, homophobic, something along those lines.
Okay.
But what I do know is he's been very comforting towards Hallie in the house. So that's what I do have as evidence of something one way or another. I'm just saying, and people change. That happens as well.
Yes.
But he's been a good person, housemate on the show so far towards different people, very comforting around people. I mean, I haven't seen much of him in terms of key storylines.
Yeah. I mean, really the only moment that stands out to me is the conversation with the boys, as well as him and Zach in the pigeon room.
Yeah.
The male stuff. Otherwise, he just screams like vanilla to me. He feels very vanilla.
Right. Okay. So next house guest, Henry from the Cotswolds. A food writer, a food critic, I guess.
Yes.
Yes. Straight away, first thing, essentially, he said he was a Tory.
He voted for the Tories, yes.
Voted for the Tories because Boris Johnson's who I want to have a martini with, which honestly, I doubt that that's the. I mean, if that's the way you vote, that's disappointing. if that's your. Who do I think I want to have a martini with? This guy. No.
No, because so I remember I said that I'd talk about it with kind of when one of the first times we see Henry and Trish together, kind of just doing their thing, and Trish is like, "Oh, watch, you probably said some right wing shit," and Henry's like, "Maybe."
Right. So yeah, I mean, also a royalist thinks if you don't like the royal family, you should leave the country. Very disappointing VT. I'm gutted we didn't get that VT before launch night, because if I had seen that VT, I wouldn't have been applauding him in the way that I did that night. Yes, we didn't get to see any VTs. We only saw them moving in. But I am actually strangely warming to Henry inside the house.
Yeah, like very much. I enjoy like things about him. Like really, the only thing I don't enjoy is his political views and stances. That's really it.
Exactly. Right. Moving on. Olivia.
Flexible.
I mean, yeah. Glasgow dancer. God. I mean,
we've seen a whole lot of her.
We've seen a lot of Olivia. Not a lot of Olivia that I like.
Because I feel like if there's anyone else within the first few days that also kind of has gone, at least the first like 2 days, Olivia, I feel like is the other person, and I kind of get that. But I feel like once the whole like challenge task, the whole like just don't be least entertaining happened, and she kind of won that immunity from eviction, that's kind of when I started not liking her.
Exactly. Yeah. God. We'll talk about Olivia. I have a lot to say about Olivia, but we'll talk about it. Let's get to our final house guest, Kerry, which we've already talked about because. But yeah, Kerry. I mean, love her and her line of work. NHS. She's a manager in the NHS, Essex. Love that we're getting representation of someone who's physically disabled. Well, I mean, we have
well, we have an amputee as well.
Yes,
but
this is the first time where we've had someone who's physically, I mean,
immobile,
relies on,
has kind of mobility issues.
Yes, and the ramp was incredible. Her just driving up that ramp was fucking incredible.
It was like I find some like happiness just seeing her kind of ride her little scooter everywhere.
Yeah, definitely. I just love that we have an accessible house for her this year, because we didn't really have that before. No, Kerry's involvement in the show is very important in the same way that Farida's involvement in the show is. Noki,
Zach,
yeah, Yimran.
Yeah,
a lot of people in this house is very important to have them on the show. So incredible casting.
Yes.
Right. So that brings us to the end of the housemates. Let's get into the house action, because right after that, so we've done musical statues, we've done
hide and seek.
It's now time to play a game of Pass the Parcel, which I don't know if that's a thing that you have over there.
No, it's not.
No, it's a very fun, like, especially at birthday parties. We play this a lot.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was a thing until like you showed me. I remember you were the one that kind of introduced me to this concept of a game,
right?
And I believe it was like a Saturday Night Takeaway or something like that. Like we were watching Saturday Night Takeaway or something.
Maybe, like possibly, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think I remember.
Oh yeah, no, we don't. I don't know how it is in America, but like we definitely don't have that in Canada. At least not that I know. It's not in Toronto.
Mm-hmm. So we pass the parcel around. First thing it does, it lands on Paul. Paul unpacks the first parcel. Gets a question. It says, "Who from the other housemates do you think you struggle to sleep with?" Something like that. And he picked Dylan. So therefore, Dylan has no bed for the 24 hours after that. So he literally slept on the floor.
With just a blanket. At least they were nice enough to give him a blanket.
Yeah.
Hello.
Right, then we move on. We're passing the parcel around again. Kerry, it lands on this time. Kerry. And Kerry thinks that Jenkin has the worst dress sense.
The most questionable. Most
questionable dress sense. There we go.
And I love her reasoning just being like, oh yeah, because you're kind of dressed like the eye.
If you walk past that screen, I would lose you. That's what she said. Jenkin's suitcase then gets blown up.
And we see it fully on like.
Yeah, that was so camp.
It was so extra, but I love it.
Yeah.
You know, like the trivia murder party in the Jackbox game. You know when the house explodes at the end of every game.
Yes.
Like it's very that.
Most definitely. I think. I mean that definitely hit Jenkin.
It was a huge
as much as he tried to hide it, he definitely felt that. But then it finally landed on Jenkin, and Jenkin was asked, "Who do you think will be the hardest to live with?" And Jenkin chose Olivia, which meant that Olivia will face the public vote on Friday. So we think. Olivia's reaction to that initially was no, it's fine. It's fine. All of a sudden, no, it's not fine. Who does he think he is? We've only known each other as like one of the last to move in. It's not. I mean, I can understand her.
I understand her side of it, on her being like one of the last people to move into the house.
Yeah. And also, it's like the first day, you don't want that to happen to you.
No,
so you're
not at
gonna
all.
feel some way about it. But also, Jenkins had it rough the entire night.
Yep.
What's your take on that?
Ooh.
Do you think Jenkins was right to choose Olivia? Do you think who do you think he should have chose?
I mean, okay. It's really only day. It
I
hasn't.
mean, at that point, it was still day one.
It was still day one, but it hadn't even been like 12 hours yet or whatever, right? It's only been like
it was literally
2 hours
only
at
2
most,
hours,
right?
3, yeah, something like
3
that.
hours?
2 hours, something like
2
that.
hours. So like, I mean, I feel like within that 2 hours, there could have been opportunity for, Jenkins to kind of interact with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to say like, oh, I don't, because we haven't connected that well or we haven't gelled that well.
Yeah.
Because like we haven't seen each other as much. Like for that I'm like, I think that reasoning is not fair. But in terms of just like him choosing Olivia in general, low-key, I wasn't opposed because I'm like, because she didn't exactly have the best impression on me.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm like, someone's got to do it, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Like if it wasn't him, if it wasn't Jenkins, it could have been someone else, and they still could have chosen Olivia.
Right. Right then. So at that point, that's pretty much the last thing from that episode, apart from Big Brother gives Olivia an ultimatum or a lifeline. Says if she doesn't get picked as the least entertaining in tomorrow's competition or task, then she will become immune from the eviction.
Yeah.
So we turn to day two. Day two in the Big Brother house. And we begin with Jenkins snoring.
And waking up everyone, and Olivia complaining.
Everyone.
Olivia, most namely, kind of complaining about it.
Right.
Although Jenkins did warn them. Jenkins did say he's a snorer.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he did warn them. Do we think? Well, actually, I'll bring. It'll bring me around to something at the end of this. First of all, let's go back to day one because I have questions. Day one, so Hallie was first to hug everyone. As soon as she moved in, she was the first to hug everyone afterwards.
Yeah.
Do you think there's some sort of gaming involved there? Do you think that Hallie's very aware by doing that she is setting a first impression that people will gravitate towards me? If I was doing that, I would think, okay, let me try and be the first one to introduce myself.
I would say so. It could be a bit of both, where it's like, oh, that's just her personality, because I just see that for Hallie. But I do see kind of that strategic side, low key, and just making sure you leave a good first impression on everyone that kind of walks in after you as well as before you. Just so they don't have the excuse of being like, oh yeah, we didn't really gel that much or whatever, or we didn't have that good first impression.
Right. Okay, so back to day two. Farida now calling a house meeting. She wants a bit of structure in the house. Maybe about who does this, who does that. And then talking about halal. There was a conversation about halal and how she would happily cook halal food, but
as long as everyone is okay with like
okay with that, yeah.
And I believe there was some conversation about also having like um certain dishes like separate for that.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, great conversation, but I think that started to. I mean, it was like a seed that started something that transpired into something else.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. And then the moment.
Yeah,
The
I
moment.
think it was the very first thing I saw of this season of Big Brother UK.
Yeah. Every time.
And
Yeah.
yeah. Lewis, you can go. You're the host.
Okay. Yeah. The first. So this is I feel like this is the first true moment of Big Brother UK this season.
Yep.
And there's Hallie's coming out as trans to the rest of the house. And then everyone shared their pronouns, and that was such a beautiful conversation.
That was such a beautiful moment. Just
Yeah.
everyone sharing their pronouns.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
as I said already, this in today's world, with the current political climate around trans issues and everything being 18, no less, and on day 2 just being able to come out and be like, this is who I am. If you want to talk about it, I'm happy to talk about it. Yeah.
And let alone the fact that you're doing it on
National
TV.
Incredible. Obviously, there's going to be ignorance around that. And I, as I've said already, I hope ITV protect her.
Absolutely.
With all of their might, and I don't know. Yeah, love her for that. And I love how well receptive everyone was.
I really do love how well receptive it was.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy that, that almost, well, basically everyone in the house is kind of made aware that that's kind of the world we live in now. Where it's kind of, we come up to someone and it would be great to kind of just ask pronouns instead of just assuming.
Right.
Especially as someone myself who gets like misgendered all the time. Like, I'm glad that they're super aware of that.
Yeah. Right. Next thing, Olivia. Entertainment.
Olivia, yeah.
Her strategy to be the most entertaining is Scottish songs and cartwheels.
Yeah. I will say though, it was more of a, okay, what Dylan did was a cartwheel.
Right.
The first thing that Olivia did though was more of a roll off rather than a cartwheel.
Right. But
she did do like a no, she did fully execute like a no-handed cartwheel.
Right. But the songs, that would annoy me more than like the I don't know the words. Where's your trousers?
Donald, where's your truth? I only know that because it was on The Amazing Race.
Like, that would annoy me. Like, if I was there, she would be irritating me.
Yeah.
And you could tell she was irritating most of the others as well.
I think that I get the biggest reaction from like Carrie or something, because I know she was in that. She was just like, oh, she did that on the bed. Yeah.
She was like,
sorry, it wasn't on the bed, but it was in the bedroom. Sorry.
Right.
Wait.
I mean,
I love.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Would you not? Did they? I love that they didn't pay much mind to it, of like kind of this change in Olivia's personality. Because if some of them they mentioned like, oh, they're fans of the show, right?
Right.
I remember one of them was like, oh, this is the best show ever. So would you were there not anyone was there not anyone that was like, oh, there's something up about Olivia, she must know something we don't, and now she's this happy-go-lucky person and doing like whatever to entertain us.
Right. No, no one picked up on the sudden change of pace. Or at least I don't think so.
Yeah. But then again, I probably would have been the same if I was actually in the house and didn't much mind to it.
But hey, she was putting effort into something.
I put a lot of effort into it, and I really do appreciate that.
Right. Next up, we had Hallie, Jenkin, and Kerry in the bedroom having a conversation about Hallie's trans journey and about how Hallie, if she won the prize money, 30 grand towards designer vagina.
And
then the rest of the money she would give towards her mum for her mum's contributions towards her trans journey so far, which I feel is incredible.
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, I felt that entire conversation so beautiful between Hallie, Jenkin, and Kerry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I especially from Kerry's standpoint, because I remember her being like, "Oh, I feel like I need to protect her now."
Right.
And I'm sure she means that like in and outside of the house.
Right. No, that entire conversation was so beautiful, and I mean, once again, it's amazing how receptive this cast is being.
Absolutely.
Right. Then we move on to the next banner that I have. The first gate of the season.
Salmon Gate.
Salmon Gate. Okay, so this was interesting. So, Olivia just eating her sweet corn and her salmon. Farida asking if she could try some of her sweet corn. Olivia's like, yeah, go ahead, have some. She gets a big spoon out. Eats a chunk of the sweet corn.
And
double dips the sweet corn, and then eats some of the salmon. And then Olivia's like, whoa. Well, she didn't go like that, but she just subtly moved the plate away from Farida.
Right.
And then
Olivia ends up having a whole conversation with like a good amount of people.
Yeah, so it's Trish, Henry,
Chanel,
Hallie's and Chanel. Yeah. And then went to the guy with them and asking about their opinion on it, and then she's kicking up the song about, and then midway through the conversation turns to Hallie and talks about her like her bands and stuff.
I actually love that. I love that moment so much.
Trish was so taken off guard. Like, wait, when did the conversation just go? Yeah, what's your take on Salmon Gate?
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I just think Olivia's overrated. Like I feel it from both ends because I feel like Olivia's reaction is a bit much, if you ask me.
I feel like there's a way she could have told.
Like I feel like she could have just ended it at when she just moved the plate over.
Right. Yeah, she
could have just talked to Farida about it.
I still don't think Farida knows about it.
Farida does not know about it. I feel like I can confidently say Farida does not know about it, and I feel like a bunch of her kind of her social cues to me don't come off as kind of the best.
Right. No, yeah, her social cues are definitely not great.
Such as Salmon Gate.
Yeah, I think this situation could have been a lot smaller.
Yeah.
I could understand Olivia not telling Farida though, because I don't think there's. I don't know. I just
don't think that Olivia should have like had a whole conversation with an entire set of house guests about it, like behind Farida's back kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Right. Next thing that happened, Henry and Jordan, they were up in the mezzanine. I can't remember exactly what happened, but they were told they were having a conversation, and then all of a sudden they slid down off the sofa to try and hide from being seen by everyone.
I believe they were just checking out their kind of the memory wall, for lack of a better term.
Yeah,
because I believe the memory wall pictures had just gotten up, but it wasn't even like pictures; it was like gifts.
I thought they were snacking into different foods that different people. I can't remember.
Don't remember, but I do remember just being like, "Oh, let's slide and like hide from them."
Yeah, right. We move on to Big Brother's Big Brilliant lineup game.
So I didn't realize how much of a classic it was.
Oh, it's a classic. Lineup game is happening the lineup game happens in most, if not all, Big Brother UK series. Let me try and find, because I do have somewhere the results of the lineup game.
Yes. I'm trying to remember some of the categories offhand, aside from entertaining. Like I believe there was a funny category, there was kind, there was trustworthy.
Yes, let me here we go. So the most to least intelligent. So Jenkin ranked this one. So Jordan was ranked the most intelligent. Then we had Henry, Kerry, Matty, Farida, Trish, Yinran, Dylan, Zach, Hallie, Noki, Olivia, Paul, and then Tom as the least intelligent.
I see it.
Do we think that makes sense?
I kind of, for the most part, yeah.
Okay.
I feel like low-key, like I'm trying to think of it, especially for Hallie, being that she was ranked lower than I expected her.
Mm-hmm.
But unless, like, you know, that could be part of her like strategic plan that we so think she's up to.
Potentially. Right. And then we move on to the next category, which was most to least funny. Noki was the one ranking here. Noki thinks that Kerry was the funniest at that point in time. Trish, Farida, Olivia, Tom, Henry, Paul, Jordan, Chanel, Zach, Matty, Yimran, Dylan, and then Jenkin as the least funny.
I was surprised to see Jenkin last.
I was very surprised to see Jenkin last, but that was just from a perspective of someone who's seen Jenkin from the start. As soon as they walked in, they were funny. As soon as they got all this shit, maybe they stopped being themselves.
Yeah,
and started being
like they even like cracked a few jokes about it too, like being like, oh yeah.
And they were like, and I don't know who's snoring that loud. And I thought he was still being funny there. So maybe that humor just...
Yeah.
Humor is very subjective, to be fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's very surprising to me. I thought Jenkin was probably one of the funniest of the house. But
I agree.
Most to least trustworthy. Zach ranked Trish as the most trustworthy, followed by Matty, Noki, Yimran, Farida, Kerry, Paul, Dylan, Jordan, Henry, Tom, Olivia, Chanel, and Hallie and Jenkin once again least trustworthy this time. Jenkin's getting it rough.
Absolutely. And I feel like that's kind of what pushed Jenkin over the edge. I feel like that one hurt more than least funny.
Yeah, well, that would.
It would. Like,
yeah.
Like they have every right to feel that way.
Most to least kind. Tom was picking here, and Tom put Jenkin as the most kind, which could have been a sympathy thing.
Yeah.
But Jenkin is definitely kind. And then it says Hallie is the least. Hallie is the least kind. Was that right? I can't remember.
No.
Checking.
Oh, I believe. Yeah, I believe so. I don't remember, but I remember Hallie was down there with Chanel.
Oh, it might have been Yunman. No, it was. No, Henry put Yunman last on the entertaining one. I remember that. Where's Yunman on this then? Oh yeah, Yunman's in the middle between Chanel and Farida. Yeah. God. I mean, Hallie's definitely kind.
Yeah, but I think we can just talk about it now, but like I feel like Tom didn't take it as seriously because he just said he wanted to like, just joke about it.
Right. No, he definitely didn't take that seriously, but someone did.
Someone did.
Chanel definitely took it seriously. There was a whole conversation about it, and she did not like being ranked that low.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think Chanel was fair in her reaction there?
I'm gonna say she has every right to feel that way, but in terms of the reaction alone, it was a bit much.
Right. And then most to least entertaining, Henry was ranking here. Put Jordan as the most entertaining, followed by Henry. Oh no, followed by Trish, Olivia, Chanel, Kerry, Jenkin, Tom, Farida, Paul, Zach, Dylan, Matty, Noki, Hallie, and then Yinran as the least entertaining. Which
I'm definitely surprised to see Yinran as least entertaining.
I definitely agree there. I don't think she. I mean, I don't know. They haven't seen what we've seen. We are very entertained by Yinran.
We are.
Maybe it's different to be living there. But I still think even if living there, I wouldn't put her as last.
I agree.
But then it's Henry, so I mean, I don't know.
It is.
Right. So then we move on. That's Big Brother's big brilliant lineup game done. We move on to
Olivia's immune.
Oh yes, Olivia's immune now. Woohoo! Well done, Olivia. Henry's face was yay, but also I think there was a subtlety of oh shit there.
Right.
I think you can tell between those eyes and his face that he's putting on this face of joy, but in reality, he does not like that he just saved Olivia, possibly. Mm-hmm. Jenkin has a breakdown. I just put Jenkin has a breakdown in the DR. He was having a breakdown in the diary room. I think things were a bit rough for him at that point. Doesn't feel like he was being able. He didn't get to feel like his authentic self because he's had a very different experience to everyone else.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunate, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's sad to see him get it that rough at that point. But slowly things get better.
And I'm sure like Big Brother had like the production had no idea like it would all be like on Jenkin,
Exactly. And then we have this conversation between Henry and Trish in the mezzanine, where Henry brings up, I don't know, one of them, Henry brings up his VT and he said things.
So Trish was like, so they like Trish ended up bringing up the fact that they click very well, and it's and I mentioned this earlier in the pod, but Trish was like, oh, I swear to God, if you did bring up something right wing, if you brought up some right wing shit in your VT, and then Harry's like, maybe,
right. But Trish mentioned that she didn't think she'd be friends with him and getting on with him and stuff. And they're finding some commonality, which brings me to my next question. Do you think that do you think opposites attract? Like, would you personally be friends with someone who had a different worldview to you or a different political view to you?
Ooh. See, because I don't know. That's a hard question.
Right.
For them, okay, you know what? For the most part, I would say no.
Right. I think it's very possible that you already are.
It is possible that I have at one point in my life.
Right.
And it's not because I wanted to.
Right.
You know? And it's not because I knew they swung that way.
Mm-hmm.
As someone who is a very left-wing person.
Yeah. It's an interesting one.
It is very.
I think there is a world where I could be friends with someone who, I mean, it depends. It depends how far they are. I mean, there's a scale.
It's definitely a scale.
So if they are all the way
ultimate, like,
yeah, extreme right, maybe not. I don't think Henry is extreme right.
Henry doesn't seem extreme right.
No.
And I think he's very much like, oh yeah, as long as we're not assholes to each other kind of thing.
Exactly.
I feel like that's very much where Henry swings. It's just he has his views, and as long as someone's not an asshole about his views, then it's fine with him.
We close off. I mean, Farida, it was in. Oh, well, we're not quite closed off on day 2. Farida was in the DR talking about clicks. I personally had a bit of concern that she didn't feel she was involved when mentioning all these clicks and not mentioning her own name in these clicks.
She did mention 2 people that she did feel closest with, and I'm forgetting who those 2 people are.
Did she? I don't know if she mentioned 2 people that she felt closest with. She got the question, who do you feel close with? And she was like, I can tell you who I feel least close with.
Yeah, but she also did name like who she felt close with.
Right.
She mentioned 2 people, and then she was like, I don't know.
Hallie. I think she mentioned Hallie.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I really don't remember, actually.
Yeah, I can't remember. Chanel was flirting with Jordan towards the end of day 2.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember that. Yes.
I do remember that, and they had a little dance.
Yes, that was day 3. Day 3, yeah.
I believe that was day 3.
Yeah, but yeah, Chanel and Jordan are getting very close. That's why I think there's a possible showmance between them 2, like a potential.
I do think there could be one between them 2. I also kind of see a universe where the whole like Zach getting his head rubbed by Naki, I could see that being a potential thing as well.
Sure.
I really don't know, because I remember Zach being like, "Oh, I really like getting my hair rubbed, or like having fingers ran through my hair," and Naki's like, "Okay, bet," and then Zach ended up going over.
Let's move on to day 3. Officially, Big Brother's big bed. The big bed. Where it's almost like an endurance, but not quite.
Endurance, but not quite. Like, who can stay on the bed the longest?
Right.
It didn't end up that way, but like,
no, it didn't end up that way. No, Big Brother gave up. Right. So straight away, Henry was out. Right, almost immediately. Henry did not want to play.
He didn't want to play. He knew he wouldn't win, so why bother trying?
Right. And then Jordan almost followed him right after.
Although it was in the edit, it didn't seem like it was right after.
No, but like, it felt very soon.
Yeah.
And then right after that, Farida had questions for Hallie.
Yes.
Let's talk about this.
Okay, so I think it comes from and she's mentioned it too, where it's Farida's mentioned it too, and I know that Hallie kind of understands that too, where Farida kind of was brought up a very different way.
Yeah.
And I know she's very proud to be like Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's what she is.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, I feel like that's kind of what comes with it.
Yeah.
Where I don't know, and I haven't done my research at all in it, but I don't know if there's much that much between like trans and Muslim.
Yeah. I mean, I think the questions came from a good place.
It was definitely from with good intention,
Good
and
intention. Yeah.
she said like, oh, she needs to, she feels the need to be educated on it.
Yeah. I can also understand though from Hallie's position that that didn't feel like the time for that question. In the middle of the task, trying to process everything that's going on right in front of you, but also being questioned about your
Gender, yeah,
your
and
gender
yeah,
and all this stuff about I guess sexuality plays into it, that question as well.
sexuality kind of does play into it as well.
Yeah. I mean, the way that Farida is asking about like that situation in terms of if you had a boyfriend, does that make them gay? And then having to explain that whilst also playing a task and trying to. I mean, it was
Right.
very.
I feel like I just feel like the main trouble for Farida is that she wasn't seeing like a trans woman as a woman,
right,
and saw it as like someone separate from women. It's
right,
it's like yeah,
right,
that's pretty much it.
yeah. So we move on to next part of the competition. Bunch of people drop out. At this point, Hallie's dropped out for cheese. All sorts of people dropped out.
Carrie's dropped out.
This is what I'm coming up to. So Carrie's dropped out at this point now because some of Jenkins' clothes is on the line. Carrie drops out to get Jenkins' clothes. Well, some of Jenkins' clothes. He gets his Crocs. He gets a pair of shorts. He gets a new jumper. And Jenkins very happy to get his Crocs back. Puts his Crocs into sport mode, which is just that little flappy thing put in on the back or on the front. I can't remember.
I can't remember either. But I love that he calls it sport mode.
Yeah. And then towards the end of the bed task, they decide, you know what, you need to decide which four of you wins. Rock, paper, scissors. And in the end, Dylan, Paul, Zach, and Matty win the bed task. And they have a little party outside.
Maddie's energetic.
Matty's very energetic. We'll get to the party itself. Next, I want to talk about Yimran and Olivia's situation. So Yimran is like, sorry, around the kitchen. And there was like some sort of confusion about food, and Dylan was like, it's all right. And then Olivia's like, stop apologizing. It's annoying me. And I hate that. Annoying me that you're apologizing.
Right.
Why does that annoy you? Why does someone being kind annoy you? You can just say, I mean, I'm with that sentiment that she doesn't need to apologize everywhere. Just the tone that Olivia.
There's a huge difference between what you say and how you say it.
Exactly.
And I feel like Olivia doesn't quite get that.
No, yeah. So I did not like that.
I feel like that's kind of the point where I started disliking Olivia.
Yeah, totally. Definitely. Yeah, the tone there was not nice.
No.
Let's talk about the next gate that we have. Pot to noodle gate. And I don't know if you remember much about pot noodle gates.
I
Essentially,
remember Henry giving a food review on the pot noodles.
this was before Henry actually snacked into the food. So essentially, the pot noodles were taken as soon as the storeroom was opened. They were taken, and
Farida, yeah, hid some in
Farida,
her like bed.
no, Farida didn't hide any. I think there was rumor that they were hidden in the bed, but no one. I don't know if anyone actually did hide any. But Farida did not like that the pot noodles were taken from the storeroom as soon as they opened. I think at that point, Henry and Tom said, "Well, I personally think that it's free reign. Is like no one needs to clarify that they're taking the pot noodle as soon as they take the pot noodle. That's free reign for anyone."
Yeah.
I mean, especially pot noodle. I personally think if it's pot noodle, it's free reign for anyone. I don't think I need to clarify that. I don't think I need to announce to the world that I'm gonna have a pot noodle.
I don't. Yeah, I'm very much on that side as well.
But Farida did not like it. I put down Jenkins funny, but I can't remember why. I think Jenkins said something funny. I don't know.
He probably did.
So then, yeah, Henry had his first pot noodle. I loved Kerry. What do you think?
Sorry, I just remember what Jenkins was like. Oh, if it's some different kind of food, like
yes. It's like I wouldn't kick up a storm about
pot noodles.
Like no, what was the flavor? It's like I wouldn't kick up a storm about
No, I don't remember.
Thai something like Thai pot noodle. But if it's chicken and mushroom, I'm losing my shit.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
I loved that. That was so funny. Henry first pot noodle. Kerry, it was like, oh, what do you think? Texture. What do you think of the flavor? I loved that. I love that texture.
How would they cook the noodles?
Yes, I do like that. Jordan puts mayo into his pot noodle.
Never seen that done before.
I personally think that's rancid. Like I can't back that at all.
Yeah. I get it. You know, it's to make it a bit creamier.
Sure.
Because I've done that before. It was curdling, and that's the gross part about it. It curdles.
Right.
Okay, don't get me wrong, I like mayo, just not to that extent.
No, definitely not to that extent. Right. And then finally party. Fun vibes.
The boys.
Matty goes all the way off for Dua Lipa. Jumping everywhere. I love that energy from Matty.
I really do love that energy. Like that's the energy you be seeing in gay bars, you know?
Exactly. I mean, I've seen it. I mean, you go all the way off.
Oh, I know that, and that's because that's kind of the energy I always witness in Toronto, here in Toronto.
But then after that, the lads have a really deep conversation between the four of them, and I found that very wholesome. Especially because people think that lads don't do that often, that they don't have these deep conversations between them. But that was nice, and
it really was.
Yeah.
I feel like it was and like I mentioned it before, but it was a very much a shining moment for Maddie, as well as a shining moment for Zach.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it was a shining moment for all of them. But yeah, it was nice to see that side of all four of them.
Absolutely.
And then Farida having another DR But yeah, it seemed to end on a DR from Farida on most of these episodes. But she was saying that she didn't feel closest to anyone particularly, but she was able to name who she felt least close to. I think she mentioned Henry as one of them. I can't remember the others.
Oh, I think it was like Henry Yinren or something like that. And she was like, oh yeah, like they're their own little clique.
Yeah, and that she was like, that's fine, but I don't feel like I'm not close to them at all. And that's how we end the episode. I want to do a little game with you.
Okay.
And I'm calling this game Red Flag, Beige Flag.
Red flag, beige flag.
Yes, beige flag. So I'm going to name different scenarios, and you need to tell me if it's a red flag to you or a beige flag to you.
What's a beige flag?
It's red flag. It's like you can live with it. Does that make sense?
Okay, so red flag's absolutely not, beige flag is I can live with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so first of all, double dipping into someone else's food.
Ooh. It depends on who. If it's like family, like if it's my sibling, then beige flag. But
if it's someone that's a complete stranger that you've only known
a complete
for a day.
stranger, I would say it's a red flag. Right. Oh, actually, you know what? No, I could live with it. Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna go to beige flag on that.
Sure. Okay, snoring loudly.
I do it too, so.
So beige flag by
definitely a beige flag for me because I do it.
Right, and then being stroppy around the house, like I don't know, like a Chanel that one night where she was being stroppy about everything and the whole Tom situation.
Stroppy
is like moody.
I would say that would be a red flag.
Right.
Maybe.
Cool. Thank you for playing my game. I was hoping more people would be here so it would be more interesting.
That was actually fun though. I enjoyed that.
We should do that more. I'm gonna try and find more red flag, beige flags, but red flag, beige flag scenarios as we go along this season. Right, and then we move on to day 4, the last day of our coverage tonight. Big Bros Limited. We're at work at Big Bros Limited, where we've been split into 3 different tiers of the hierarchy of the place of work.
Sure. Yeah,
sure.
we'll go with that.
So we've got the big wigs. The big wigs are Yinren, Trish, and Henry.
No idea how that's decided, but
Big Brother just selected that, which I kind of hated. I wish that they selected the big wigs amongst themselves. That would have been more interesting.
Yes.
So we had the middles, which were Farida, Kerry, Zach, Matty, and Jordan. And then we had the bottoms, which were Hallie, Tom, Noki, Jenkin, Olivia, Dylan, Chanel, and Paul. The big wigs had luxury meals prepared for them. So, like, really luxury meals. Everyone was pretty much on everyone else was basically on basic rations. Hallie was particularly annoyed to be in the bottom. I think Hallie was dressed up to not be in the bottom and then had to get out of that suit to get put on this orange suit for the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we have a very special role as well that we have not mentioned.
Yes, we'll get to that because it happened mid episode. So then there was a bit of friction between the middles. Zach told the bottoms, well, particularly Noki, that they don't need to do anything they're uncomfy with. But Kerry disagreed with that completely and said, right, the big wigs want these cups of coffee. Noki was like, well, I've been told by Zach that I don't need to do anything. And then Kerry was like, Zach, you told them they can't do it. They don't need to do anything. Like, no, because this is how we're going to do it. They have to follow. They need to do they need to pull their weight. So then, yeah, there's a bit of friction there, but I think they sorted it between themselves pretty quick. The Beaklewigs got a nice platter of food, and then everyone else got salads and packed lunches. But I think that was just the middles. I might be wrong.
The middle, yeah. I believe the bottoms got like sandwiches and salads.
Right.
Yeah. I remember, and then the middles also got something packed as well. I believe they got something kind of a step above that though. Although Carrie was complaining about the fact that she got tofu.
Yeah. that was fun.
I actually did find that funny though. I love tofu personally, so I wouldn't have minded.
Right.
Like what how do you feel about tofu?
Oh, that gave me. I've never had tofu.
You've never had tofu?
No.
Okay, very interesting.
Perry gave a quote that I love when she's like, I'd soon eat my own shit. That was perfect. I loved that quote. I need a quote board for this season because there's going to be so many quotes come out this season. Right, now Jordan gets promoted to Fire Warden, which I think he embraced. So I loved Jordan as a Fire Warden.
Jordan as a Fire Warden was everything to me because he was still just himself, but fulfilling his duties.
Right. He's still playing into his dry sense of humor, but he loved that Fire Warden. I think he loved that Fire Warden role. He loved that. And then straight away we got an evacuation. Everyone out, and Jordan Jordan had no rush to him at all. He was like, everyone out, everyone get into a square. Right, I'm gonna do this register. Paul, Chanel. Just it felt like he had no.
Yeah, it felt very slow, and then I think he realized how much time there was left, and then just started zooming through the names.
Yeah, and it's so funny. That whole evacuation situation was so.
I mean, they succeeded at it though. They completely. At least, with 9 seconds left. Good for them. Good for Jordan.
Throughout this competition, this task, Olivia got very annoyed. Olivia hated being at the bottom, and sorting those paper clips, which really is nothing. It's just sorting different paper clips into different. It's hardly anything. You're hardly
anything.
You're hardly doing work at that point.
But it's like in comparison with the middles, though, like the middles are just basically sitting there with computers that don't exactly do a whole bunch.
No. Completely. Yeah. I don't know what the middles had to do. They just had to sit there.
I think they just had to like order people to do stuff and whatever.
Exactly. Okay, and then we start to see the tension between Kerry and Farida. Zach wants Kerry to be a middle supervisor tomorrow. Farida took exception to that. She was like, there's a whole team of us here. Why is Zach appointing Kerry to be the leader tomorrow? I think Farida really wants to be the leader. And there's a bit of friction there going on. And Kerry's like, well, if you want, and Farida's like, no, it's fine. I'm just saying there's a whole team here. What do we think of that situation?
I think Farida just should have said like, oh, may I step up to the plate kind of thing, you know?
Right. But Farida's like saying that she didn't want to step up to the plate. I think Farida really does want to have some sort of control.
Yeah, I truly think she does want to be the supervisor.
I do think she wants to have a bit of control, but she's not outwardly saying exactly that. She's not black and white about it. She's just implying it. Yeah. And then there's a whole shopping budget conversation.
Yeah. I think there was also something else, but I don't know if you probably have it in your notes. I just don't know. I just forget when in the episode it happens. But they also talk about the big wigs. Also end up talking about like, oh, who gets promoted, who
Oh
gets.
yes, I forgot about So it's mentioned about Farida being demoted and Paul being promoted.
It was Paul. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Because I remember Farida was being demoted, and she was like trying her. She wanted to help out the bottoms anyways, even though she wasn't allowed to. But
Let's
then she
talk
got
about
demoted, and it was like, okay.
let's talk about Zach and Jordan. Zach and Paul in the mail sorting room. God, what an awful job they did. And that's just someone like me who knows my UK geography. The way they sorted it, it was terrible. Zach did not even put Manchester in the right sector. And he's from there.
That's kind of crazy. He said Manchester was in the center.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Even you know that's not right.
I know that's not right.
Yeah.
And that it's kind of crazy watching it like as a non Brit, because I get to learn about these places. So this is where I learned that there's a place called Butt of Lewis, and I was like, oh, nice.
Yeah, that's a place. And Salford also got mentioned, and I had some.
Salford did get mentioned.
I had some pride there. At least Zach knows that Salford is right next to Manchester.
I mean, he should know that, being that he is from Manchester.
Right, exactly.
But it was sick though. Like, so the bird pooping, that's fine. It's just the letters got a bit stained. But once the fans went on and it blew kind of all the letters out of the pigeonholes.
Yeah, and they had
I was like, oh, Big Brother is sick for that.
Exactly. Right, so there's the shopping budget fracas. Farida wants control of the shopping budget, but Kerry and Zach thinks that the bottoms should have should have the control of the shopping budget because they've been sorting paper clips all day.
Right.
And there's a bit of friction there.
Yep.
Which I think, I've seen the preview for the sneak peek for tomorrow's episode. Well, today's episode, which you'll probably see tomorrow. That whole conversation about the shopping budget blows up completely. Yeah, Farida wanting control again. What are we thinking of Farida at this point?
I remember. So not I remember, but like I feel like she's trying very hard.
She's trying very hard to. Well, she's trying hard to be included, but she's trying hard to get herself at that point on top of being the leader and being the person that she wants to be the person everyone like that controls everything that goes on and everywhere. I don't know if it's working out for her. I think people gravitate towards Kerry more.
Yeah. Because I feel like Kerry has a better way of like going about it.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
Like she's a lot more personable with it.
Yeah. I see that. Yeah.
And that also probably comes with her job being like an NHS manager.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, Farida, we end this episode with Farida in the DR talking about how she does not like Kerry, how she finds Kerry to be conniving. Like almost like a, I don't know what there was a specific quote she mentioned. She said she finds Kerry to be not snaky, but not two-faced, but like she mentioned something.
Like,
There was a specific word that she used. She used the word conniving, but I also remember she mentioned something else.
she mentioned something else, and it was kind of along the lines of like sneaky in a way, and like very
Sneaky,
like scheming in a way.
yeah, exactly. Do we think that's a fair assessment of Kerry?
Ooh. I would personally lean over towards the no side.
Right.
Because I just think it's Carrie just being personable, and she's kind of used to being in that role.
I think
But
Farid,
it's not like she intends to take that role.
right. I think Farid and Kerry are two sides of the same coin, but whereas Kerry is a lot more considerate about, oh, this is what we're going to do because these did this, and I think that's fair. Farid is like, no, I personally think that I wish I could have been down there and doing the same thing. I think I would have. I've already
I mean,
struggled.
now she is down there.
I mean, yeah, apparently, yeah. We'll see if anything. If that.
No,
If that,
she did get demoted because we saw her wearing the orange.
right,
shirt.
but like we'll. But like we haven't actually seen her working down there yet. But
right. Okay.
We'll see. We'll see in next episode, maybe, possibly, hopefully. Right. That's Matt. That's episodes 1 to 4 of Big Brother UK 2023 season 20. What a show. How are you finding it?
You know, for a first season of BBUK, I'm kind of enjoying it.
Right. And you're not getting the full experience because you're not watching late and live. You're not watching the live feed. You're just watching the main show. But from that, you're enjoying it. Just imagine how much you'll be enjoying it when you get started watching late and live and
right. Right.
With that being said, Farida and Kerry on the block, for the public vote. The public is voting to evict between Kerry and Farida. Who do we think is leaving tomorrow?
I think it's Farida.
I also think it's going to be Farida.
But I also wouldn't be surprised. Actually, no, it's Farida.
I think it's going to be Farida, which I don't want either of these people.
I don't want either of them to go.
They're both contributing so much to the season.
They are.
But I can't be too surprised that these are the ones that go. Let's have just run through because I completely forgot Logan had left their thoughts. Hallie Logan says Hallie opening up is everything, but I wish she would directly tell Farida that their situation affected her the way it did. I agree on that.
Yep.
Yimran talking about her boyfriend is so. I missed that. Yimran talking about her boyfriend is so wholesome. Logan says, I don't love shopping tasks, but this one is kind of fun because I like the Kerry versus Farida, but I hope it doesn't cause them both to be nominated. Breaking news it did. Henry and Jordan's friendship is so cute. I'd like to date Matty, and I see why someone we know didn't get cast.
Someone we know.
I see why someone we know didn't get cast. I don't know what these. I have to catch up on Logan and see what that means.
I also have to. Yeah, I feel like we need to message Logan about that. But anyways,
yeah. Well, there we go. What a start to Big Brother UK. We're gonna see we're gonna be back on Sunday. At the same time, it's 5 p.m. Eastern, and we will review the eviction, the nominations, the eviction, and anything else that happens in between. From me, from Aneesa, from Logan, have a good night, and we'll see you on Sunday. Woohoo! Where's the outro? There we go. See you on Sunday.
See you on Sunday, I guess. Goodbye. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're the first to get it.
My hair is frazzled.
I need to sleep.
My hair is frazzled. You give me straighteners, and I can't remember the quote.
I can't remember the quote either.
Oh shit! I forgot to end the stream. Bye.